Welcome to 1 Million Cent, the podcast where we equip you to share Jesus.
Hey, 1 million cent, 1 million cent. Get untrained and equipped 100%. 1 million cent, 1 million cent. Get untrained and equipped like 100%.
All right, well, hey, we are here today with, I don't even know how to describe Pastor Paul. He's a great friend. He's an incredible pastor. I've known about Pastor Paul for a long time, but in recent years have really, our relationship has grown, got connected. They're a partner with our ministry, Rage Ministries. He's pastor of TCAL Church down in Mansfield, Texas. He's a leader of XL Leadership Network. Is that right? XL Leadership Network. Just, I don't know anybody probably that doesn't know Paul. So, Paul, thank you so much for being here, my brother.
Yeah, it's my privilege. Yeah, it really is. It's good to be here. It's a cool spot, too.
Yeah,
awesome.
Man. I know. We're at Redefine. If you're watching this, if you're in DFW, hey, stop by Redefine Coffee Shop, man. Check it out. Good friends, Kenyon and Katie, allowing us to be in here and record this. And golly, I'm so excited for our conversation today. A couple years ago, we had been at a conference together. We've always known of each other, had a lot of mutual friends. Crazy story. We served in the same city together. And then I moved out, and then later on he moved out, and God brought us back together here. But a couple years ago, I kind of shared with him what we were doing at Rage and training people to share the gospel, wanting to help churches move the needle of evangelism in their body. And TCAL said, hey, we want to be part of that, this similar heartbeat. And now I just, man, for a couple years now, partnering with you guys. Thank you so much for that. It's a joy to get to see your people, our people, just, man, share their faith and be confident and competent in doing that. And we're going to get to share some of those stories, man.
Yeah.
We're going to share some of those stories.
Exciting.
So, hey, let's just kick it off, man. Tell us a bit about your background. You're a pastor right now, TCAL Church in Mansfield, but that's not where you started. So give us a real quick history, man.
Yeah, I grew up in a pastor's home. I was the fifth of 5 children.
Whoa.
I'm the only one that ended up, like right now, is in full-time Christian ministry on staff at a church, something like that. But my family, all believers, and love the Lord and walking with God, which is really cool to see now at this stage of life.
Yeah.
I grew up in a pastor's home. After 8th grade, watched a pretty painful experience happen for my dad.
Yeah.
Which dad was, one of my preaching heroes, just a hero. My older brothers are heroes in my life, literally heroes in my life. I don't know if everybody can really understand that, but being the youngest of 5, I just
wait, you're the youngest of 5.
I'm the youngest of 5.
My Lord. That's what's wrong. I mean, that's happening.
Right. Bro, don't even start. This birth order thing is for real. I think the 5th is like psycho, ADD, like can't sit still and go crazy. No.
That's funny.
I looked up to them.
Yeah.
Still do.
Yep.
My sister just left for heaven this last year, and yesterday was her birthday.
Oh, wow.
And so we're celebrating the woman of God that she is continually. Now she's in heaven with the Lord. But watching them, they've had such a profound impact on my life. But came up and out of that, watched this really not good situation happen with my dad.
Yeah.
And it was so hurtful. It was so painful for me. And again, I can only talk about how I experienced the moment. It was brutal, 2.5 hour, just ugly, business meeting. My dad standing up there and trying to be Christ-like and not just reflect. And it was brutal. So I came out of that meeting and I said, I don't know what I'm going to do with my life. But one of those bloody oaths that you make.
But I ain't doing that.
Not like, I'm not saying it was a good covenant, but it was no doubt a covenant. I just said, I will never do what my father did.
Yeah.
So we moved to Sweetwater. I went to Sweetwater High School.
Okay.
So now I'm in 9th grade and just was pursuing. I deeply loved the Lord.
Right.
Shared my faith in high school. Shared my faith, I don't know that if there's really kind of been a time where I haven't.
Right.
But I was just saying, whatever it is, we're not going to do pastoring.
Right.
We're not going to work at the church, and we're not going to be poor.
Yep.
then in high school, God just, I'm just like, God, I'll do whatever you want me to do.
Right.
Just in my mind, I just didn't realize that I had so profoundly blocked this.
Yeah.
My junior year, right before my senior year, God in just a profoundly miraculous way, in a way that I'd kind of said, there's no way that God will do it this way.
Right.
God made it crystal clear that He was calling me to preach, was calling me to be a spiritual leader, was calling me to lead people, to do this stuff.
Is it ninth grade, or was this sometime
It was
in high school?
right before my senior year.
Okay, right before, yeah.
Yeah. So ended up going to college, went to Hardin Simmons University, got a degree in business, which is a big part of what God, it wasn't just like a secondary fallback plan, it was really part of what God was calling us to do. And was in student ministry for years and years and years.
A beast in student ministry, by the way. A legend in student ministry.
And just loved it. Loved every second. Could have done that really for the rest of my life, but we just kept. So we were in Shreveport, at a church there, and loved doing it. Seeing kids get saved. It was one of the most exciting things. But what I was seeing was that kids were getting saved, but then there were these huge barriers to getting them folded into the family of faith, and them really having the kind of care and a nurture and the body of Christ around them that really then sent them out. And so I was just like, this just can't keep happening. So I told Shannon, I was like, I think we're just gonna have to go plant a church. So we left Shreveport, Louisiana, and moved to Mansfield, and started really with this idea. What if we started a church? For whoever's watching today, this might but we said we're going to start a church for people who hate church.
There you go. That's fair.
Because there's just so much and I love the bride of Christ. I love her, but Lord bless us.
Yeah.
Like our governance sometimes, and our tradition, and our control, really a spirit of control, can just kind of take over. And what I call the prison system can enslave, can put walls around the body of Christ, and the good news of the gospel can't get out because not of the heart of Jesus or the message, but the way we're doing church has become, I think, something the enemy really has gotten to play in, the American business model. And just sometimes we allow Americanism and American organization and just pragmatics, capital that comes in, and I really believe through our governance and stuff, we've kind of circled the wagons to protect what we got, and now the gospel just can't get out.
Yeah, that's good.
And so this passion and people get frustrated by that.
Right.
People like really, they go, man, and we just heard over and over, man, I don't really have a problem with Jesus.
Yeah.
But the church, we're just like, how can that be the case? So we just said, we're going to start a church, and the heartbeat then was to be a part of a church planting movement. Let's see if we can't renew this and get a movement, give it a wave going that could maybe even retro and begin to influence and impact, the established church. So that was kind of I know, that's the big dream, and it's crazy and it's nuts. And now we're 18 years into that, and
is TCAL 18 years old?
October will be 18.
Wow.
Yeah, we moved to Mansfield in January of 2006.
Man, that's amazing.
And
that's amazing.
And really, and just seeing the enemy come against a church probably more strongly than I've ever. Guys that we've planted, they're like, man, I don't know why you still like. If everything had happened to our church that happens to TCAL, we just quit.
Yeah, yeah.
And the Lord's been clear about that. He said, but what other church planter can say, you just don't know how hard it is?
Yeah, yeah.
So as we're pouring our life into church planters, and then trying to equip and help them to really mobilize their church to be on mission and really share the gospel and be about what Jesus said, I came to seeking to save that which was lost. And
that's the XL network, correct? Is that what all that kind of folds under, or how is that alongside of that?
Yeah,
I
just knew that there's no way we could do that on our own. I mean, you don't do a movement by yourself,
right?
And so we just started looking for, we planted with, with our SBTC friends, and planted with, and really partner now with BGC. Just going, Lord, how can we be a part of something that's not denominationally driven, but not that we're, abandoning our heritage or anything like that, but just it has the kingdom of heaven heartbeat to it. Right. And as I was looking for a network, already had my tradition, already had what I grew up in, already had our Baptist, background. but looking for a network where we could really care for people. I felt like our strength was more in processes and things like that, but the care piece, and we talk about a lot. It's like we're here to care for the planter and his wife. I just remember when we planted and we started the church, and then what we're doing for church planters, what God called me to do, called Shannon and I to do. I just remember saying, I just want to do for others what I wish somebody would have done for my dad.
Isn't that where a lot of our calls in ministry, our passions in ministry drive out of, right? Is
Our
that
pain.
Our
brokenness,
Yeah.
our failure, our frailty.
Yeah.
I asked the Lord a lot about that, trying to unpack that pain. Is one of the most painful things in my life. He said, in his graciousness and kindness, he said, Paul, that was I sat there like, where were you in them? I'm telling you, it's probably the second most painful emotional experience of my life, watching all that happen. And just unpacking that, he said, I was right there. That was part of the price of your calling. He said, what will you not do for another pastor?
Come on.
He said, because you'll do for others what you, in your mind and your heart, just what you wish somebody would have done for your dad. And that just brokenness and compassion, love for my dad, it broke something in me, and it broke this, hey, I'm going to do what I'm going to do with my life.
Yeah.
And it really gave me a heartbeat and a compassion to serve pastors and to help plant churches and to see this ugliness of the church kind of peeled away, and to protect spiritual leaders so that they can lead the people to mission fulfillment.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw this in there because this is not a podcast on governance, nor do I really want to be an expert at anything on governance. But I've just found most of our governance in our church is more about control than it is about mission fulfillment.
That's a good word. I agree, man. That, and I think I've kind of chopped that conversation up a little bit, but it's reality. Like it's not about it's more about preservation than it is about mission. And I think that's what our heart beats, man. We want to get the gospel out. We want to see churches grow. We want to see people come into the kingdom. We want to see people grow in their faith and go for the Lord and empowered in that. And I know at your church, TCAL, man, it's a big part of what we do, right? It's a big part of that. As a matter of fact, y'all launched just a couple weeks ago, maybe. Was it You Matter?
MatterToJesus.com.
YouMatterToJesus.com.
It's so goofy. It's just nuts.
I love it.
For us, let me just say this: the more and more we've just sought the Lord, more and more we've served of the church, more you just get this heartbeat for the kingdom, and it's not just about TCAL. And so we had an opportunity. We were just thinking about we're just talking about the March to Easter. Get it? March Madness, March.
Let's go.
It's at the end of March.
Yeah.
Because we're talking about this March that he's really preparing our people, equipping our people, resourcing our people to invest, to invite, to really to maximize the kind of influence that they could have on what we call their 8 to 15, which is a book that pastor from High Desert Church wrote. So, and our team is meeting, and we, as an executive team, we're just like, how can we, because Easter is so much sooner, so how can we get our, bring that top of mind? How can we, what are ways that we can engage in the community? What are ways that we can get the message out? So we're talking about this, and they're in a brainstorming session, and just the idea of the pickle parade, which is a big deal in our city, which is, sounds like the goofiest thing in the world, but it's called the Pickle Palooza. Starts with a 5K. Literally, the Pickle Palooza. We have a pickle production plant in the city, which is the only thing, and it's around, around St. Patrick's Day. It's just but it doesn't really matter to us because like 20 to 25, sometimes 27,000 people show up for it. So we're like going, we don't care what it's called.
There are people there,
but there's an opportunity for us. And so we just, our team, really, I wasn't even in the room. Our team gathers, our two executive pastors, our staff, they're just brainstorming. They're throwing out, and You Matter has been a big theme in our church anyway. And so they're talking about, man, what if we put a float in the pickle parade? And then they were like, well, what if we could put 2 floats in the pickle? We could do one with our kids. We could do one of the, and it just, the ideas kept flowing. All of a sudden, they're like, what if we did, we were handing out wristbands and we're doing all this stuff. And like, what if it's like, You Matter to G, and they kept going and going. And it's not that You Matter to TCAL. What if when we were going in the foot, what if we weren't pushing our church?
Come on. Yeah.
But what if we were just saying, it's not just that you matter to God or you matter, but you matter to Jesus. All right.
Dig in. I love it.
And they were like, "There's no way that this domain site is even like this is it's so far." So they just let me go and go to it. So they go in there and they went, "It's available." And then they went over. What about I Matter to Jesus?
Boom.
No one had even bought those, so we instantly buy them.
Nobody else thought anybody mattered to Jesus.
No, nobody matters to Jesus.
In
That's
all
dumb.
of history.
Why would we want to say that? So we bought them and captured them. I don't even know how to explain it. It has become what we love about it is it's empowering us as a staff and our people to just go, hey, you matter. Did you know that you matter? It's the simplest thing. I don't know if you know this. You know what? You matter to Jesus.
Yeah.
And you know the 5, like we're always talking about, what's that 5 second?
Yeah.
Like you're going through the drive-through and you're giving somebody, I don't know if you know that you matter to Jesus. You matter to me. If you get a chance, check out this website. And you hand it to them. Plus, we put, stole this from you.
You didn't steal nothing, brother. You didn't steal nothing.
Put the emojis on there, and
love
we want to keep doing the training, all that. What we really want to do is just make it to where it's almost like the hardest part of sharing our faith, hardest part of sharing our story, the hardest part of all that is just bringing it up.
That's exactly right.
And if somehow we could just make it to where, like, almost like telling people it's like an invite card for Easter, or telling people, look, and we say it every week over and over, trying to train them. Look, it's as simple as it's 15 seconds. Hey, I don't know if you have anywhere to go for Easter services, but if you don't, I'd love for you to come with us.
That's it.
Hand them the card. And then the last time I said, look, some of you are too scared to do that. Just take the card and go, here, Jesus, and walk away. And it'll hit them in the chest, and maybe they'll pick it up. I said, but they can't respond to an invitation that they don't receive.
Say that. Whoa. You gotta, I think sometimes in these deals you just gotta stop, because what you just said is so powerful. And I think if people would just understand this, say it again, they can't respond
to an invitation they don't receive.
To think about just, hey, I don't know where you're listening or you're watching or whatever, but you've got to let that sink in for just a second. That truth right there. People cannot respond to an invitation they don't receive. We're always afraid of what their response is going to be.
Of course.
And so we don't even give them a chance to respond.
Listen to it. We say no for them.
Wow.
And what we say is, this is going to be harsh. I know this is a little harsh, but it's just true. I'm just saying this to myself. When I don't say anything, I do two things. I say no to Jesus for them. And number two, basically in my mind, I'm saying you can go to hell.
Yeah.
Potentially, because I don't know where you are spiritually. You can go to hell potentially because I'm afraid of how you might respond to me.
Come on.
How that might make me feel. I'm afraid of rejection. And those are, they are legitimate fears.
Yeah.
But after a while, you just get to a place, when I got married, let's go back to that. When I got married and I put my original ring on, we go on our honeymoon. We went to a place where I think it was in San Diego, something like that. We were so poor back then we couldn't afford to pay attention.
You guys in San Diego, that's good, baby.
Well, some friend gave us flights.
Okay.
He worked at Southwest Airlines.
Man.
He said, "Look, you can go anywhere Southwest flies." We go there,
right.
and I tanned with my ring on because I wanted people to know I was married, even if I didn't have my ring on.
Come on.
Like if we could have globally broadcasted our wedding, I would have told everybody. Like, why would I be afraid of what you think about someone that I love?
That's right. Yeah.
Or someone who loves me, or the way that I'm experiencing love from Shannon, the way that I want to give love to her, and the way I just want the world to know.
Yeah, man.
And I think if we can just help our people to be loved by the Savior. Can I tell a quick story?
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, here's going to be kind of the flow. We're starting the church. Man, I got it. Love God, love others, and live big. That's going to be that's our phrase. That's how we do it. And the Lord's like, no, you're not preaching that. I said, that's the Great Commission, right? Love God, love others, live big, live for big things, kingdom things, not temporary things.
And it's alliterated.
Oh yeah,
I love it.
I was in my mode, And the Lord's like, yeah, you're not preaching that. I just kept processing it, going, God, this is just scripture. It's just my take on it. It's a catchy way to say what He said. No. If you preach that way, you'll just lead people to legalism. I was like, how does preaching your word lead? He said, no, because you didn't start in the right place. He said, be loved love God, love others, live big. He said, Paul, if you try to manufacture love for God, it's going to be energy, effort. It's going to be you striving. He said, but if you just stop, Psalm 143:8, just let the morning bring me word of your unfailing love.
Wow.
For I've put my trust in you.
Yeah.
Show me the way I should go, for to you I entrust my life. That has become one of my life verses. It's one of my life verses for marriage when I do weddings. It's one of my life verses for just Paul. And when I get up and I allow God to fill my cup, and I'm not running to Shannon to fill my cup. I'm not running to the world to fill I'm not trying to share the gospel for I feel good about myself and God will be pleased with me. Guilty in college, trying to do it all, reading my Bible. And I thank God I did. I filled my mind with the knowledge, but to earn and to deserve, not just believe and receive.
Not just because you're a son.
Not just because I'm a son. And so here's what I do in the morning. If I don't get up and start there and allow God just to fill my cup to overflow, right? The Lord is my shepherd. And my cup overflow. If I let God fill my cup with his love, just be loved as a son.
Yeah.
As a favored son, void and disconnected to my behavior, my religious any of that, just for who I am, then my cup overflows. Now when Shannon bumps into me, the love of God, I don't go into my marriage needy, and I don't go into the world needy. Yeah. Because he has met my needs. Now, people bump into me. I have something to share with them. Oh man, I can't wait to tell you about the one that my heart has been given to, who's captivated my heart. His name is Jesus, and he not only loves me, he loves you. Now
you matter to Jesus.
You matter to Jesus.
I love it.
So that message just started resonating. Listen to me. We just found for our people, whatever. For our this movement we're trying to do with our people to influence here, near, and far. This whole thing.
That's right.
Everywhere God sends you. This idea. So we're on the float, okay?
At the pickle parade. This pickle parade.
So goofy. So just at the pickle parade. And we have on the side, youmattertojesus.com.
Okay.
And our church, not our church's name, just our little icon of our church. But it wasn't about, say, come to TCAL for Easter.
Yeah.
It was about you matter to Jesus. Okay, here's what we're doing. There's 3 of us on there. And we made it fun because, we believe in epic fun. And,
golly.
And that's who we are.
Yes, you do.
So there's, we called it, they called it Pastor DJ. So 3 of us are on there, and we got headphones on, beats on, and we're acting like, and we got music going, and we're just acting like we're DJs.
Yeah,
we got these little setup situations. It's pouring rain, and nobody left. They're waiting us. We gave out 6,000. We gave these to 6,000 people that day.
Come on.
Okay, let me tell you a story about that in a second. And all we said, there's people 6 or 8, 10 people deep. You know what we're saying? We're dancing to the music to all this. You matter. You matter. Every person we made icon. You matter to Jesus. Now we'd point to the sign. You matter. They're like, we want a wristband. We'd throw the wristband. Oh, it was the simplest. Okay, I'm getting pretty excited about it. I'm usually a really calm person, but
no, he's not.
I'm just telling you, it was that simple.
Yeah.
I would look at little children. They were waving, and we'd do stuff like just having fun. And then once they would do it with us, we'd stop and go, you matter. You matter to Jesus. They're like, I saw in 20,000 people, I saw one guy looking at us, and I think it was the music and stuff. He was just like, whatever, and walked off. And I went, that's probably the guy's going to get saved.
He going to come to church. He going to be at church. He going to be like, I remember these guys.
Those are people that are running hardest.
Yeah,
those are the ones that God captures their soul.
Yeah.
It became the simplest way. I don't even know how to tell you how genius it's become. And just so we're clear, not my idea.
I love it, man.
I wasn't in the room.
You know what I love about this story right now, though, Paul, is that that you've said a few times, hey, it wasn't my idea, I wasn't in the room. You know, I love you've created a culture through the power of the Holy Spirit in your church where people are free, staff is free to dream. Mm-hmm. And anybody listening right now, if you're a leader, you're a pastor, you're on staff, create that kind of culture. If everything has to come from the pastor, every vision has to come from the pastor, every idea has to come from the lead pastor, like that's not a good place. But if you can create as a lead pastor kind of a whiteboard environment.
We
where,
literally
hey, we can dream.
had a whiteboard
That's
in front of the
man.
whole team just going, how can we most
can dream.
creatively and innovatively this year empower our people, resource our people, and then unleash them on our community?
There's no way that you have all the ideas. I don't have all the like God, in our people are so many God-given gifts, talents, ideas. Man, so thank you for creating that space.
You don't have to be. Look, there's one mission. My job is to be the curator.
That's it. Yeah.
So as everybody comes up, and I just tell them all the time, best idea wins.
Yeah.
And if it's my idea, that's the best idea. Then it went. But but it doesn't matter. If a 6-year-old child comes up and goes, "Hey, Pastor, I got an idea," the best idea wins. Now the problem is who has the ultimate say on what's the best idea.
Right. Yeah.
But if you can drive even that decision further and further down in your leadership team, in your organization, they were like, and then they brought it to me. I was like, this is brilliant.
Done.
Yeah, it was so, because when we're all bought into a mission together, we say this all the time, for the sake of the mission. I'm telling you, when you're having division in the church, when you're having conflict, when you're having, we want to do it this way, you do want to. These two phrases have helped us. And so if you're a pastor out there, you're a youth pastor, or you're a business, whatever, for the sake of the mission, for the sake of the team.
Come on.
And then this is what we're doing. We have to be unified.
Yeah.
We have to have synergy. We have to have harmony. If there's no unity, John 17, if there's no unity, there's no oneness. We don't have a church.
Yeah.
We have a seed. We have fertile soil for the enemy to use the church to repel people from Jesus.
Yeah.
That's what disunity. And when we're not of one accord, the lost world has a legitimate claim to say, I don't believe that the Father sent the Son. Y'all don't love each other. So I don't have to believe that there's a God who loved us enough to send us. That just read
I think
John
Jesus
17.
said this, right? Jesus said, right, this is how all people know you're my disciples. Not even by your love for them. It's not what he says.
Not for your love for one another.
By your love for one another, right? So,
when I allow myself to be loved, and then that just comes out. You know what? People are going, man, I don't know if I believe what y'all believe, but dude, I'd sure like to have a friend like you.
Come on, that's
I'd love to be a part of something that I'm seeing you guys experience. And that's what we saw. People coming up. So can I tell you one more story?
Tell us the story, man.
So Sunday night, I guess that was on a Saturday. So 2 Sundays later, Shannon, we're equipping our people. Man, every time we're saying, we passed out 10 cards with a wristband, and they could take, we had stacked piles of them out of people just grabbing handfuls. I had people come up and go, man, I gave all my cards out and all my wristbands. I took 15 last time. This has never happened like this.
No, I love it.
And so our people are really getting excited about that. So we go, Shannon, I decide, hey, let's go to dinner tonight. Let's take the kids. So Chandler and Hannah were hoping they would come with us. They can't. I said, no, baby, shoot, man. You and me, we're going on a date. Let's go.
It's a podcast, Paul Hush.
So we go, okay. It's a marriage podcast now. Just shifted.
The marriage. Hey, kids.
Paul, anyway, so we go to dinner at Texas Roadhouse.
Okay.
We're sitting there, have a great, Abby's waiting on us, does a great job. And at the very end, one of the assistant managers comes and just comes in. We're like paying out. We're about to leave. And she was like, man, I just wanted to come and see how y'all's experience. Hey, Abby did a great job. And so thank you for that. And she looks at us. She goes, were you at the pickle parade? And I said, yes, ma'am. I got one of those. I got one of those at the pickle parade. My boss got one of those too. She goes, did you get one? I was, well, I was.
Yeah, I got one.
I was on the float there. Passing by. No, you weren't. I said, we were. And Abby's standing there. She goes, well, I had to work that day here. I didn't get one. So we got to peel this off. And I said, hey, go get your boss. And go get the general manager. I'd just like to meet them. So we were getting up to leave and all that. They were not able to come. And I said, look. Hey, Abby just got one. Let me give it to her. And then I want you to give this to, and I pulled off. I had 2. I tried to have 2 on my wrist.
That's right.
Give one away, and then always have one other. And I said, look, I want you to see if there's anybody else here that works here that didn't get one. She goes, man, thank you so much. These are powerful. And I was like, what are the odds?
Oh man,
that the assistant manager and the manager or whatever were at the pickle parade, and we had people like we were on the float, but we had like 30 people walking next to us, handing all the wristbands out.
Yeah.
So every float we had like 34. It just.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question real quick. Abby, is she part of the church? Did you know her? Do you remember her name?
Oh, of course.
I want y'all to don't of course me. Y'all, this is what I picked up immediately. Not our waitress, not our server. Abby, you call her by
Abby.
name. You
You
met
know
her.
why?
You
Because
knew.
the first thing everybody does, the way you treat the littler
that's
people
right.
in
Yeah.
the world
Yeah.
really reveals
Yeah.
who we believe God is.
Yeah.
Because if people matter to God, if you matter to Jesus,
Mm-hmm.
so the first thing, waiters and waitresses, I believe, are the greeters of our city.
Yeah.
They're the
That's true,
hostesses
yeah.
of our city. First people that come, they come to hotels,
Yeah.
and they come to our restaurants.
Yeah.
And I believe those people are so important to the value and the quality and the ongoing economic development of our city. Okay, just period, just as a part of a city and part of encouragement to our mayor and part of our city council and just trying to love us all well. And really, I mean, people come up. The first thing I want to do is say, they come, hey, my name is Abby. Okay, no. And if I don't hear it,
Right.
hey, my name is Abby. Now, they usually say, hey, my
Yeah,
name
it's
is
pretty
whatever.
quick, yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
going to be your server today. Is there anything I can get for you to drink? They're trying to get your drink
Yeah.
order. I said, no, wait. Did you say it was Abby? Yeah. Hey, my name's Abby. See, all of a sudden,
Now you know my name. I'm a person.
you're not focused on me getting you food. You're just focused on me.
Come on.
And I just start there. And do I stop and share the gospel with every waiter or waitress? No. But I at least leave the door open. And if the opportunity comes, we do.
I love
But she did. She told us her name. And then from then on, every time they come to your
Abby.
table, man, Abby, thank you. Man,
Yeah.
thank you, Abby. And then brag on them. We always tell the manager when they do a terrible job.
Right.
Who's telling the manager when they do a great
Come on.
job?
That's right. Yeah.
I always do that. And I'll say, hey, can you have the manager come by? Yeah. And the manager comes like, yes, sir. Yeah. Hey, I just want to tell you, I know you got to hear all the bad news, but I want to tell you about one of your stars.
There you go. Come on.
Very pro management. So if
There you
they're
go.
horrible, you got to go, hey, somebody might want to train,
that's
just
right.
help that wait staff out. But usually, I think
get
the
a
way you
chance to
treat
brag.
them really,
Yeah.
really brings out the best in the wait staff, especially if you show
Yeah.
them the love of Christ.
I love it, man. Well, Paul, I just, want to thank you for your friendship. I want to thank you for your partnership in ministry. I want to thank you for your heart. I love that people even that are watching or listening to this just get to hear a little bit of what I get to experience as we walk together and link arms together. So thank you for that, man. Thank you for being light in a world that, man, light is greatly needed. And as we close out, I just want to know, is there one thing, one last reminder you'd like to give anybody here when it comes to, because some people are thinking, man, I don't have wristbands.
Right.
Oh, they already have that website. I wish I'd have got that. Like, what is one way today they can make a difference for Jesus, wherever they are, wherever they're listening, whatever they're doing?
Yeah. I probably would circle back. Number one, make sure you're not, really check your own heart. Make sure that you're not doing anything to earn and deserve. That undermines my evangelism. My just, I don't know if I even think of evangelism. It is, but just being able to tell people about how amazing Christ is,
Right.
What God's done, am I through Jesus.
So it starts with that relationship.
Intimacy is the field to evangelism.
Come on, yeah.
I'll say it 1,000 times. If I am intimate with the Savior,
Yeah.
if I'm spending time where if I'm just enjoying Him, enjoying me, which me and the Holy Spirit, my time with the Lord, ministry can pound that out of you. Yeah, just the organization and the headwinds of hell, and the when we're rushing at what we call ourselves a rescue ship, and we go through rough waters to get to people that are broken and hurting.
Yeah.
And it's dangerous work, and the enemy's always trying to create disunity. But I would say, number one, just making sure that we stay close to the heart of the one that we're trying to tell people
that's
about.
good. Yeah.
And then number two, our frailty is what people connect to. We can impress people with our strengths, but it's our weaknesses, it's our frailty, it's our brokenness that really allows people to go, you're real.
Come on.
This is the real thing.
Yeah.
And I think we're afraid of that.
Yeah.
My dad used to tell me this. He said, if the demoniac from Gerasene, if the Gerasene demoniac got saved, got in his right mind, Jesus delivered him, and then he wants to say, let me go on the crusade with you. He said, no. Go back to your oikos, your
that's
people.
right.
Go back to the people that know you and tell them about the mercy and the grace that you received. My dad would say, if the Gerasene demoniac ever stopped telling people who he used to be, then they don't see the gap between who he was and who he is,
Yeah.
and the transformation Jesus made for his life.
Yeah.
And so the power of the gospel loses a little bit of its effect. And we're so afraid of our past and our brokenness. And when we do that, a lot of times we rob God of his glory.
Wow. Yeah.
Man, I'm broken. I'm a performance addict. I'm a religious addict. I'm desperate for people's approval. I'm trying to earn and deserve. And what Jesus did for me is freed me from myself, because I was on the edge of taking my life, because that's empty.
Yeah.
And Jesus saved me from that.
Yeah.
I don't know that I ever want to get over that.
That's right, man. So be with Jesus, live out of the overflow, and then be real.
Yeah, just be
honest.
painfully genuine and see people.
Yeah, for
Don't
sure.
blow by people.
That's
See
right.
people.
Stop, pause to see people, say their names. Man,
Yeah.
I love that. And it's just your heartbeat. I love the Spirit of God that just flows out of you. I feel like every time we're together, I bump into you, have a text message conversation with you, on a phone call, Jesus spills out. It's always encouraging. I never get out of a room or off a phone call with you, Pastor Paul, that I'm not encouraged. I just want you to know that, man,
praise God
thank
for that.
you for loving me well. And I think some of the things I love about you is just your honesty. Like, it's not always I call you, you're like, oh man, things are awesome. No, sometimes like, hey, we're in a hard season right now. And so just thanks for being real. Thanks for being a brother and just a mentor and leader in ways probably you don't even know yet, man. So, hey, if you are listening,
Thanks for having me on the podcast.
Man,
That's
what a
awesome.
blessing. I want to encourage you to check out youmattertojesus.com. If you can't remember that, go to imattertojesus.com. They're both going to get you there, and they'll help you getting connected with Pastor Paul or T. Cal. If they can help you in any way, I promise you they will be happy to do so. If they don't know the answer, they'll help you find the answer. If they can't,
to you.
So, hey guys, thank y'all for listening in. And I just want to once again give a shout out to Redefine Coffee Shop in Grapevine, Texas, Kenyon, Katie Coleman. Thank y'all for being awesome. If you're in the DFW area, make sure you check them out. You won't regret the coffee and the atmosphere. Incredible place. Hey, don't forget this. Today is a great day, no matter where you go, to tell somebody about Jesus.
1 million cent, 1 million cent. Get untrained and equipped 100%. 1 million cent, 1 million cent. Get untrained and equipped like 100%.